Easy like a Sunday morning. Yeah. I was just thinking, sometimes some days it can be hard to be positive. So you just you focus on, the fact that, everything's not gonna be sunshine and rainbows. And it's okay. And the reason why, it's okay is because, we're human beings. Every day is not gonna go the way that we want to. Everything is not gonna align up, perfectly. Some things are just gonna be the way it is. What's going on, Time Reveals? Good morning to you. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. You know, but like I said, it could be a challenge, it could be a struggle. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. Sometimes we just have, one of those days. You just have times where you just, may not feel like smiling. You may have times where you just don't feel like, being all cheery and stuff like that. Sometimes you just have to go through the motions. Sometimes you have to just go through, whatever, feeling that having in your heart, expressing, whatnot. I mean, the important thing is not to stay there, not to stay down in the dumps, not to stay, in despair, whatever it is, whatever, negative mood you might have. Yes, yeah. Time reveals. Sometimes we just don't feel cheery, and it's okay. Listen, it's okay if you wake up and you're not in the best of moods. It's okay to wake up and not really feel like being talkative and wanting to socialize with every and anybody. I mean, of course, don't throw negativity and shade at people, but we just have days where you're just not feeling it. And I've been there. Sometimes it can be hard to be positive. It's hard to just throw on a smile. I remember one time somebody was saying to me, "Oh, you should smile more." Like, and I was telling them, give me a reason to smile. Like I said, give me, people, oh, you should be positive and, you should just be happy all the time. Like I said, yeah, positivity is a mindset to have, fellas. I mean, but it is something that don't force it. So listen, if you're not feeling positive, if you ain't feeling upbeat, if you ain't feeling, like, like you ain't with the mood, then you ain't with the mood. Guess people tell me to smile more. Yeah, I mean, listen, smile if you want to smile. Smile if you have a reason to smile. And don't fake it. That's worse. It's worse when you fake the positivity. That's when you get into the whole, facade of things. That's when you become less trustworthy. I mean, there's times I come on here, I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling it. I mean, folks ain't feeling me for not feeling it. I don't care. you know, oh, don't forget to hit those the thumbs up or whatever the case. Please, I appreciate you folks if you do that. But yeah, nah, it's just one of those things, man. Like I said, I get it. Uh, Good morning, Lulu. Appreciate you for coming through. What's up, lovely kid Japan? Appreciate you for coming through all the way from Japan. Yeah, positivity is a habit. So is negativity. But it comes down to just being real with yourself. Thank you, Tom Reveals. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And folks out there, don't forget to hit me with the thumbs up if you care about what I'm saying. And if you want to hit me with the thumbs down, I care. It's all good too. But yeah, sometimes you just have a bad day. Sometimes you just need to, get through the day and do what it is that you need to do. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a bad day, to be in a bad mood and just, have to get through it. Of course it doesn't feel good and stuff like that. I'm not encouraging people to go out there and have a bad day, anything like that. I'm just saying that, you shouldn't have to fake the positivity. You shouldn't have to fake a smile. You shouldn't have to put on airs or save face as certain cultures do, to make other people happy. Sometimes we smile and we pretend because we don't want anybody else to feel, insecure or uncomfortable about the fact that we may be having a bad day. People have bad days and it's okay. It's okay because, we're human beings. We have imperfections. We have things that go on in our lives. We have stuff that we're worried about, that we're concerned about. We have things that just happen when something's wrong. I dance, sing, and smiling away. Anyway, yeah, no, listen, lovely kid Japan, if that's what you do, then that's what you do. There's nothing wrong with that. If you use dancing and singing and smiling as a way to get out of your funk, fine. But if you just really in a situation where you need to get through it, where you need to, just I don't want to say worry it out. I don't want to say worrying out, but sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes you just really caught up in the mood. Sometimes you just really caught up in the funk, and you need to just let the emotion, let the situation pass. This too shall pass. It's just like when the rain comes, when the storm comes, you get through the storm. You don't try to make the sun shine. You let the storm take its course, and then when it takes its course, the clouds clear and the sunshine comes, and that's what that is. Now, if you could smile through the rain, if you could laugh and dance and sing through the rain, then that's a special thing as well. But if it's a situation where if you're going through something, you should be allowed to go through that thing. My thing is not to stay there. Yeah, the windstorm. I see what you're saying. Yeah, the windstorm, the wind, the storm. Absolutely agree. Yeah, yeah. Nah, I'm not, yeah, Tina, but I'm not saying you can't smile through it all. That's a special thing. Sometimes, no matter what's happening, no matter what nonsense comes your way, you don't let it take away your smile. You don't let it take away your ability to be happy. But I tell people, don't force it. Don't pretend. Don't play. To pretend like, hey, things are all right. Everything is okay. It's just one of those things where I say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay if you having a bad day and you're just not feeling, in the mood. If you're not just up to it or whatever the case may be. I mean, I say don't push the negativity else on somebody else. I try to be self-contained with my stuff, but it's sometimes when you're just not feeling it. I know I was like that yesterday. Yesterday I just wasn't feeling it. But you know, you don't bring that negativity to anybody else. You have to try to have your positive conversations and be encouraging and uplifting and upbuilding and whatnot. Don't pretend, but I have the best friend to talk to and cry. Yeah, nah, that's good. That's good, Tina, that you do. I don't have 100% happy days all the time, and it shows how I'm human. But I try to make the best I can. Yeah, Cab, that's what you got to do. You just got to do it. I mean, the thing is to try to understand and to feel the emotion. Not to pretend like everything is all right all the time. I don't trust me personally. I don't trust people that say everything is all right all the time. So you mean to tell me you never go through anything? You mean to tell me you never cry? You mean to tell me you never worry? You mean to tell me you never complain? You mean to tell me that every day and every moment, every second, everything is okay and always all right and always good? That's when I say, okay, moving right along, because it's not real. You know what I'm saying? It's, for me, it's not real. I mean, but it is what it is. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Best listen to Lay. She's a good person. Shout out to Lay. On some channel as well. But yeah, it helps when you have a good listener. It helps when you have somebody who's willing to be there for you and just go through the motions with you when you having your good days, your bad days, your in between days, when you're up, you're down, you're feeling all around and whatnot. It pays to have a good friend, a good confidant, a pal, a confessor of sorts, that you can go to and bounce ideas off of, to help you get out of your funk. It helps when you have a good book to read. It helps when you have family members, that you can talk to and whatnot. It helps when you have like, prayer, meditation. Sometimes you can take a good walk outside. I know Cap 7 does that. Time Chaser, there you go. Appreciate you. Sometimes you need to go out there to nature and stuff like that. Sometimes I go to the water and just, do that. I want to meet the perfect person who has 100% happy positive because I want to know their secret. Yeah, well, Cab, I don't know who that is. I mean, unless you're gonna go up to the heavens and find God and whatnot. I mean, behind the scenes, some behind the scenes YouTube time, but yeah, walking nature is the best. Yeah, no, it is like that. I mean, sometimes it helps to go out there in nature and just be in the moment and just take it all in. Look at the water, take in the fresh air. Look at the animals. See the trees. Smell the pine, the oak, whatever it is out there. If you could get out into the world, to have a moment of peace, to try to decompress. Sometimes we have stressful lives and we need to get away from it and just have a chance, to be to ourselves and not constantly be bogged down by the pressures of the world, the pressures of society, the responsibilities and things that we have. Yeah, yeah, nah, nature. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah, nature. It is a situation where you want to put yourself, in the best possible state to like not be stressed out, just be free, just take it all in, and naturally get to the point where if you're not having the best of days, you get back there, you realign, you get your equilibrium together. Good morning, Detox Diva. Appreciate you. You're a motivator, wonderful motivator yourself. Um, Hold on. That's why I asked you last time, what do you do without the town lights? Well, Tina, what I do without the town lights, if when I'm not in the town, when I'm not in the city, I can experience nature. I mean, I'm somebody who's still of a generation where I know how to enjoy the wilderness, where I know how to enjoy, life. Where you could pray, you could meditate, you could just be one with the atmosphere and whatnot. Stuff like that. I don't talk about it as much, but nature is healing. So I love nature. When I get a chance to get out there and get to it. Because when you're not in the best of moods, when you're not where you need to be, it can be very helpful. So that's what I do without the lights. Without the lights, if I'm out in nature, I just exist in the space at the time and just think about things and just ponder about life and stuff like that. What's going on in the form state of mind morning when I feel this way? I remind myself by listening to Alan Watts. Yeah. That's what I can get out of it. Yeah, well, not Alan Watts is good. Alan Watts is good. You've said that before, and I've listened to Alan Watts. Alan Watts, great philosopher. Great philosopher. Has a lot of interesting thoughts and whatnot. I don't agree with everything he says, but definitely great philosopher. But I'm just expressing that, what, it's okay if you're not always having a great day. It's okay if everything is not always all right. Sometimes people, just need to go through things. I hate when people going through something and folks is saying to you, oh, you'll be all right, you'll be okay, and don't worry, and this, that, and the third. Sometimes people don't have the answers for what folks are going through. Sometimes you lost a loved one. Sometimes you went through a horrific situation. So it's just so many things. What's going on? Autonomous. Ah, what's going on? Monotronic girl, anatomic, animatronic girl. There you go. How you doing? Sorry about that. It's still early, but yeah, sometimes you go through things and folks don't have the answers. Sometimes you're just trying to figure it out. You're just trying to exist. You're trying to be in the moment, and you need to be in the moment. Sometimes the best way to get through a situation is by being in the moment and just going through it. Do you have Infinitive Waters YouTube channel? You love it in the morning meditation? No, I don't have it. I don't have the channel. You got to let me know about that. Definitely, I got to check that out and whatnot. But yeah. Hopefully, I'm making sense to you folks out there. Like I said, I mean, if you have a moment, if you have a time where you're just feeling weak and whatnot, what's going on, Justice Hambricks? Appreciate you for coming through. A lot of awesome people in the chat today. I appreciate you folks for coming through. Your support is greatly appreciated, and thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. It's just crazy. But like I said, it is what it is, and I think you folks know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you don't need an answer; you just need to slide and move forward and visit. Just accept the healing powers of time. This is what we got between today and tomorrow. Grant and show up. Well, thank you, Grant. I appreciate you as well. Yeah, it is some healing powers of time and whatnot. I just hate when I see people. Not hate, but I just don't like when I see other people going through stuff and folks are constantly trying to push you into a positive result or certain things. Sometimes people need to be in that moment and reflect and see themselves and try to work it out in their mind. Can they accept the results or the circumstances and situations of what's going on. Once you work it out in your own mind and you're able to accept and resolve within yourself what it is, yeah, maybe everything's a divine order. There you go. Then you can begin to move to where you need to be. But like I said, it's okay if things ain't sunshine and rainbows. Right now in New York, everything ain't sunshine and rainbows. It's a cloudy overcast or whatever. But maybe that's just a metaphor for what I'm saying. And the thing is, the reason I'm saying this is because folks shouldn't be afraid to have to go through you know a negative day. Just because you have a bad day doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Doesn't mean you can't get through it. Yeah, all the answers are in you. Oh, you're getting philosophical now. Ooh, starting to sound a little bit like Alan Watts over there. You know, staying in the negative for too long with no answers is dangerous too. Yes, it is dangerous. But the point is not to stay in the negative with no answers. The point is to acknowledge it, to experience it, and move on from it. Not to run from a negative day, not to run from a tense situation. And sometimes that's dangerous when we do that. It's more dangerous to run from the negativity as opposed to facing it than it is to say, you know what, I'm just gonna pretend to be positive. I'm gonna pretend like these things, these problems are not happening. You know, that's the worst thing that we can do sometimes. Don't pretend as if something is not happening. Forward always, always forward. There you go. You know, you always move forward, but sometimes when you're moving forward, you have to move forward through that negativity. All right. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate you for coming by. Always, brother, you know, stay up. You know, I can't stay in the negative, but you have to be able to tap into the power to do so. Yes, you do. What's going on, Earth? More appreciate you. Love and light. Yeah, stay in the positive path. Down to the question. Um, Up and down. The question is, what do you do with it? Let's say stay in the positive path, up and down. So what do you do with it? It's interesting. It's interesting. The reality is that Tina, we're not always going to be in a positive state. Some people say stay in a positive, but you say stay in a positive because the negative comes. But sometimes you learn just as much from veering off to a negative state as you do to being in a positive state. You want to be in light. You want to stay in a positive mindset. You want to be happy all the time. But the reality is things happen. We get in moods. Stuff throws us off. There's obstacles. There's distractions. It's hard to keep pretending to be positive. Yeah, I agree, Earth. It is definitely hard to pretend to be positive, and it's a negative thing to do. Llama monster, llama, llama, llama. There you go. Some people refuse to tap into and acknowledge their own power. Yes, I agree with that. Don't run from them. Place them aside. Visit them when you have time. The tools to fix these problems. Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. I call it my fake face. Well, the problem with the fake face is that some people get so used to doing the fake face and it becomes a default strategy to the point where, you really don't know how to manage, through the negativity. It's like soon as something negative happens, let me pretend. And then you go into this default strategy to where you're not really dealing with your problems, so it's kind of crazy. Don't pretend, just surround yourself with things that will make you happy. Well, it's not just to make you happy because to me personally, I think it's more about where you could deal with things realistically and you come from a positive light. If you become happy because of it, then that's cool too. But you want to be in a positive space. I do it for my children, but yes, you're right. I mean, well, listen, of course, around the children, you don't want to be negative, but at the same time, you don't want to lie to the children either. If you're having a bad day or something's not going on wrong, right, and the children pick up on it, have a conversation with them, talk about it, deal with it in a positive way. Some people desire an awakening, yes. Well, the awakening, there is the awakening, just us. There is the awakening, the force awakens. We need that awakening. Yeah, truth, very refreshing. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Not as truthful as I would like to be, but it's what it is. Go to a quiet place and meditate and wait for it. We go have the same issues, but individuals, we have many different results when it comes to tackling the issues. We have a varying degrees of outcomes. This is true, Cap 7. This is true. We do have the varying degrees of outcomes, but it's just willing to be realistic about what those outcomes, may yield. Is being honest with ourselves about where we are, where we should have been, where we could be, where we will be, all that stuff. Just in any moment, just seeing the truth and being willing to accept what needs to be done to move on to the next step. You know, who didn't hit the like button? That's funny. What's going on, Fireman CV? Thank you for coming through. It's just what it is. It does take time. It does take time to heal, to overcome, to get through things, to just really find yourself in a good space and whatnot. And it's okay, like I said, if you have a bad day, it's okay. If you're down in the dumps, but not staying there. That's the important part. Like I said in here, you want to be in a situation where you acknowledge how you're feeling, you go through the motions. You let it play its course, but then you shake yourself and you move on to the next situation. You move on to the next thing, and then you kind of just say, hey, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the obstacles, the distractions, the feelings, the emotions that one faces in a particular day, a time, a life. You just realize we're human beings. We're not going to have the best of days all the time. Like I said, like Gab said in there, show me the person that's 100% happy all the time. Always with no problems. And like I said, I'll learn. I want to learn their secrets. I want to find out who's who and what's what. But with that note, I gotta get ready to go. I gotta get something to eat. Thank you all for coming through on this Sunday morning with me, and spread love. Once again, it's the Brooklyn Way. See you next time.